Hanks, Tom Hanks, Tom Hanks. Have you ever wanted more Tom Hanks in your movie? Was Castaway not enough for you? Then the new Christmas classic, Polar Express, is your movie. Seriously. 6 characters. My God. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks.
The plot of the movie The Polar Express is actually really simple, mostly because it came from a 12-page book with, as you may see here, if I may ever open a page, haha, mostly picture and very little writing. And so they had a lot of leeway when it came to the story. But so for the movie and for the book, it is this. An 8-year-old boy is doubting the existence of Santa Claus. It's his year of doubt. And so, on Christmas Eve, 5 minutes before midnight, a train, the Polar Express, pops up on his front street, or rides down the street, and the conductor offers to let him come on board onto the Polar Express and come to the North Pole. More than anything else, to see Santa Claus and reaffirm that the belief he held all his life really was true. Or, as the story expands on it, to see if it was all just one big sham. Yes, there's a magical train. Yes, there's no explanation for it. But that doesn't mean Santa exists. It just means it's a neat train. Before anything else, I feel like I should make a side-by-side comparison between the source material of the book and the movie. The movie's greatest highlight for me being its visuals and the parts that they take from the paintings from the book itself. When I first saw this in the theaters years ago, it was, and they showed the Polar Express. Honestly, the right word for me is breathtaking. I saw it with my dad and my brother, and when that very first scene when it has the steam coming away and the boy walks into the light where the conductor is standing, I couldn't help but get just a little bit misty-eyed in the kind of memories it brought back for me. I cannot give enough praise to this movie for how they managed to take the dozen or so paintings that come from this book, added them to the movie, and added that much more to it. They did nothing but add visually to everything, all the material that they had to work with. The problem being that they just didn't have that much material to work with. The story from the source material is incredibly simple, and well, it's a feature-length film. They had to add to it. They had to turn into something that could be a proper long movie. But again, they add so much detail and so many amazing more colors to the visuals of the movie that it cannot help but to be made even better. The colors from the North Pole, they're even more vibrant than they were in the book, in the originals, in everything that is shown here. The bricks are even more red than they used to be. The blues on the top of the buildings are even bluer than they once were, and there are lights hanging from everywhere. There's music playing, but you can't really get that through a book. I can't help but pause and think back about it whenever I try and think of something to say, because touches on that kind of level with me. However, the rest of the movie is, I would have to say, competent. It is a competent movie. The voice acting is competent. The majority of the voices that you will hear are higher voices, children's voices, with some adults splattered in there. They sound appropriate. The music. There are a few songs in this movie, and they are nice songs. They're competent songs, and personally they actually took me a little bit out of the movie, of all things. They add, and as much of a plot as the book gave, they had to lengthen it for the movie, and so they really threw into it an understood conflict for the main character, who's 8 years old and, according to the credits of the movie, named, Hero Boy, because he didn't really have a name. In fact, there aren't really any names in this movie, which makes sense. Nobody really had a name in the book. They were just characters. It tries hard to really explain to you, the audience, and to the characters themselves, what is it about belief that is important? If by seeing something, is that how you know it's there, or do you have to believe in something before you see it? And that is where the largest chunk of the conflict of the story comes from. It's a very simple story, and they built something out of it that's really I never thought they'd have. But it's a little sad for me. That's the best I can say about the movie at large, is that it is competent. Dan.
I never grew up with the books like Chris did. Actually, this is the first time we watched the movie. I have a different opinion than what Chris had. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed Tom Hanks' acting. Even I enjoyed some of the motion capture scenes. Basically, the whole movie is motion captured. There's some scenes that did take me out. And those were the singing scenes, the musical scenes. It took me out of the adventure they had in the movie. And I understand, compared to the book and the movie, you don't have a lot of material to actually make a full-length movie. And even having a big of a star as Tom Hanks, you had to basically make it longer. Give him more parts, because you have one of the biggest actors in Hollywood. And the thing is, I understand it's in the book, a trip to point A to point B. With that, you might have an idea to make it longer by having the journey on the train. And that's where it was strange for me also. It kind of reminded me of a Christmas version of Willy Wonka. Not the same events, but close enough to having adventures that you get yourself in trouble. And this where it leads to me to a point that basically, if you never watch the, right? So sorry. Have you ever read the book, or you haven't, or you just want a Christmas movie, or you have kids that want to watch a Christmas movie? This is so a movie you should pick up. If you hate it or you love it, it's just adventure. The special effects are amazing. If you have a chance to watch it in 3D, please take your kids. Just watch it.